So why is Salt Lake City one of the hottest destinations for people that are looking to relocate? And why is it that Salt Lake City is the focal point of people moving to Utah itself? With stunning mountain views, a thriving downtown, and a blend of outdoor adventure and cultural richness, it's easy to see why so many people are choosing to make Salt Lake City their home. Join me as we uncover what makes Salt Lake City so special and why Salt Lake City might be the perfect choice for you. And by the way, if I haven't met you yet, my name is Steele, and I help people relocate and move within the state of Utah each and every day. This channel here, Living in Utah, is all about Utah and everything that you need to know. So if this is the type of content for you, consider subscribing. This is the exact content that I put out on this channel each and every week. Okay, with that said, let's start off. So what is it exactly that makes Salt Lake City so appealing? What makes Salt Lake City unique beyond that you'll find in any other city in the West or in any city in the entire nation for that matter? And I believe that there are 4 reasons that Salt Lake City is completely unique and different from every other American city. And starting off that list at number 1, it is entirely focused around the uniqueness behind having a metropolitan area, an urban area right there in the middle of the outdoors. There's no blend of these 2 features in any other American city that you'll find even coming close to that of Salt Lake City. And so if you're looking to take advantage of the best of both worlds, of having a major US city with a major international airport, as well as all of the amenities and the attractions and the things that you really want in a big city, but also to be within 20 to 30 minutes of the great outdoors, Utah and Salt Lake City specifically just might be for you. And number 2 on the list is going to have to do with the weather. Now, not everybody loves the weather in Utah. Not everybody loves winter. But what many people are giving feedback about is they're moving to Utah because we have 4 distinct seasons. Now, before you start dropping a comment below letting me know that spring and fall doesn't really exist, well, in all honesty, it does. It just happens to be that those 2 changing seasons can be a little bipolar in their weather patterns, and it might feel like summer's upon us and then boom, we get hit with another winter storm. So it just depends on your perspective, but we do get to enjoy the 4 seasons here, and many people are making the move to Utah because they enjoy that distinct 4-season weather pattern that provides the variation throughout the year that they're looking for. But with that said, it's not for everybody. Some people want to live in a warm, humid climate, and that's certainly not Utah. We definitely experience all 4 seasons, and for me, at least, this is a really good draw. I think it's appealing, and I love the beauty that nature provides as those seasons change each and every year. And moving on, number 3 is this is a close-knit community. Even though it's a bigger city, it definitely carries along with it a nickname that a lot of people call Salt Lake City, and that is Small Lake City, because it does feel like a smaller town vibe, or at least a really closer-knit community than most other American cities. And so it really plays to the people that want that smaller community vibe without being in a major metropolitan area, but still offering all of the advantages of being in one of those major cities. And I believe that Salt Lake City has struck a perfect balance between the 2. Okay, and 4th on the list is I believe that Salt Lake City is very unique and different because of the way and the reason that this city was founded from the beginning. Most American cities happen to be just a place where people started to live, and then more people came and more people came and more people came. But Salt Lake City is very unique in that it was a place that was sought out after and purposefully planned from the very beginning to be what it is today. And this is the reason that Salt Lake City is so very unique. The reasons that people came to Utah and settled Salt Lake City are so incredibly different than the people that went and settled cities in California or anywhere else in the United States for that matter. It's a very unique place, and this is only adding to the flavor as to why Salt Lake City is so appealing. Okay, so next, let's talk a little bit about community and lifestyle when it comes to living in Salt Lake City. And first off, Salt Lake City offers a very active, outdoors-oriented lifestyle. This outdoor lifestyle is so appealing not only to those moving to Salt Lake City, but the people that live here already. With skiing, hiking, mountain biking, cycling, all of the outdoor activities that you're looking to do are something that you can actually do each and every day on a weekday after work. It's so accessible that it really does transform your lifestyle. And next up, let's talk about education and schools. Now, Utah spends more as a percentage of its entire budget every year towards education, more so than any other state. Education is critically important in the city of Salt Lake City and throughout the state of Utah. You'll notice that a lot of really highly rated schools are right in Salt Lake City and in the suburbs surrounding the city itself. And here in Salt Lake City and in Utah as a whole, you'll likely find more options and more flexibility and more freedom as to how you choose to educate your kids if that's the case, whether that be charter schools, public schools, magnet schools, private schools, or any other option, including homeschooling. Utah and Salt Lake City is one of the best places to educate your children, and I ultimately believe that this is another thing that makes Salt Lake City so incredibly unique. And next up, let's talk vibrant community events. We have popular events such as the Utah Arts Festival, the Pioneer Day Parade, and the annual Salt Lake City Marathon. All of these things bring the community together and really add to the flavor of that really tight-knit community here in Salt Lake City. And beyond those events, we have many more options, including major sporting events with major sports teams in the Utah Jazz and the Utah Hockey Club. But we also have much more happening here in the city. And in the near future, in the year 2034, Salt Lake City will again be the host city for the Winter Olympics. Okay, next up, let's talk things to do in Salt Lake City beyond the sporting events and beyond the concerts and the other festivals and things. Let's talk about the dining scene. Now, for most of my adult life, Salt Lake City was a little drab in the department of fine dining, but Salt Lake City has changed in recent years and is really up and coming as a hotspot for foodies. There are so many restaurants in Salt Lake City. You could go out every single week to a new restaurant and you'd never run out of restaurants to go to. Now, with that said, some of my favorite spots in Salt Lake City include Urban Hill, Takashi if you want really great sushi, or Current if you're looking for really phenomenal seafood. And one of my top spots in the city is Walter's Osteria if you're looking for fine Italian dining. And beyond fine dining, we have phenomenal shopping in downtown Salt Lake City as well at the City Creek Center. The City Creek Center runs several blocks east and west right in the heart of the city and makes for a really cool, unique vibe that you're not going to find in most cities. And I think it's one of the coolest things that brings people into the city and helps them discover other things that are going to be happening. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is the nightlife in Salt Lake City. It's not anywhere close to other cities. It's not New York. It's not Las Vegas or LA, but it is changing, it's evolving, and up until a handful of years ago, it was almost non-existent, and now it's to the point where it's up and coming to the point where there's something to do. I will say, however, that nobody has ever moved to the state of Utah or the city of Salt Lake City for its nightlife. Okay, so if you are living in Salt Lake City, what's the real proximity to the opportunities in the outdoors? So we have many ski resorts within just a 20 to 30 minute drive of Salt Lake City, including the 4 resorts up the Cottonwood Canyons and heading up to Park City at Park City Mountain Resort, as well as Deer Valley. These are phenomenal ski resorts, but there are many others as well. If you want to drive just another 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you can be up in Snow Basin or you can be down at Sundance. There are so many great ski resorts, but the outdoors in Utah are not just about skiing. You have countless trails that are not only for hiking or hiking with your dog or mountain biking or trail running. There's everything that you could ever expect here in Utah. Depending on what it is you're into, you're going to find really great opportunities within just a half an hour of downtown Salt Lake City. And if you're looking for access to the lakes, of course, the Great Salt Lake is just to the northwest of downtown Salt Lake City, which is its own ecosystem. It's its own world entirely. But we have many reservoirs and lakes up in the mountains where you can go boating and fishing and recreating. There's so many cool opportunities within just an hour's drive. You'll likely never run out of new places to go. So what about the arts, culture, and entertainment? We have many museums and art galleries that are highlighted in the city of Salt Lake City, including the Utah Museum of Fine Arts and the Natural History Museum of Utah. These are some really cool spots for taking in the arts, and I think it really adds to the flavor that Salt Lake City is becoming a bigger and bigger city, as these places are not only worth mentioning, but worth checking out. But beyond the arts, there's really good performing arts and music, as well as concert venues. I love the Eccles Theater in downtown Salt Lake City on Regent Street, which is a new theater that is absolutely breathtaking. There are also other venues like Abravanel Hall, as well as other concert venues, one of my favorites being Red Butte Gardens up near the University of Utah. These are phenomenal opportunities to take in all the things that you would expect in any other major U.S. city. And when you layer on that the Sundance Film Festival in the wintertime, as well as local farmers markets every weekend, as well as seasonal events that celebrate the arts, culture, and community, Salt Lake City has definitely got it all. Okay, so let's talk about future growth and development here in Salt Lake City. Now, we can't talk about future development and growth without first mentioning the growing tech scene here in Salt Lake City. And Salt Lake City is positioned right along the corridor that we call Silicon Slopes. And downtown Salt Lake City is seeing a lot of that tech growth as well, which is attracting not only new businesses, but a lot of new residents as well. And in order to manage that growth, Salt Lake City's expanding public transit system and the light rail system named TRAX is really improving and being added upon as Salt Lake City continues to grow. And I actually believe that the 2034 Olympics will actually spur some new development and new expansion of that public transportation system as well. And one of the biggest transformations that I'm noticing in downtown Salt Lake City is the improvement or the addition of more housing. And it's this housing and community development that has really been fueled ever since 2018. But we saw during the pandemic period of the early 2020s, we saw the number of residential units in downtown Salt Lake City more than double just within a short time period. And if you drive around Salt Lake City and you're from here and you've lived here for more than 10 or 15 or 20 years, you'll notice how incredibly transformed so many of the city blocks in downtown Salt Lake City have become, with a major focus on additional housing units and more residential living in the city itself. Okay, next up, let's talk about quality of life and amenities. And when we're talking about quality of life, we've got to talk about healthcare. And Salt Lake City has some world-class healthcare facilities at the University of Utah Hospital, which is the top-ranked hospital in the state, as well as Primary Children's Hospital and the Intermountain Medical Center located just south of downtown Salt Lake City in Murray. These are some of the best hospitals and medical facilities in the entire state and the Intermountain West, and certainly adds to the appeal for people that are looking to live in Salt Lake City. And moving beyond healthcare, let's talk about fitness and wellness options. Salt Lake City is a very healthy city. There are a lot of people that are focused on health and wellness here in the city, and for that reason, a lot of businesses have thrived and have popped up that are providing all sorts of services if you're looking for that healthy, balanced lifestyle. And one of my favorite things about Salt Lake City is that it's so incredibly pet-friendly. Now, with the #1 pet of choice here in Utah being dogs, I think it really highlights the community and how we look at living in this city as so important, not only for our families and our children, but for our pets as well. And I'll even go so far as to say this. There are two kinds of people. There are people that love dogs, and then there are just bad people. I'm just teasing. In all honesty, Salt Lake City is just one of the best places for your furry pets as well. I think it's very pet friendly. You'll find tons of parks and opportunities to take your dog out, and you'll see that so many other people share that same philosophy. All right, next up, let's talk about real estate and the real estate market in Salt Lake City. It's no surprise that the Salt Lake City real estate market has been booming in recent years. In fact, Salt Lake City and Utah as a whole have been one of the fastest growing cities and states in the entire nation since 2010. And one of the things that I love about Salt Lake City with respect to real estate is the diverse number of options. And I would describe this as a range of homes available from historic bungalows or Victorian-style homes in the city or up in the avenues to luxury condos downtown and spacious family homes in neighborhoods like Sugar House or Liberty Wells. There's so many cool, diverse options within the city that I think that's really what adds to the flavor. And the market trend that we're noticing right now is a leveling off in terms of pricing, and that's a really good thing. We cannot sustain increasing real estate costs any more than we already have. We've got to keep those prices at bay, and really what that boils down to is increasing the supply of homes that we have available to meet the current demand. And with the demand of living in Salt Lake City and Utah, that demand is outpacing the supply with respect to how many additional units we're able to add. We're not building enough homes here in Utah, and I know that's not what every local wants to hear, but because we have so many people that are looking to move here and to relocate here, it's creating the need for more housing, and we're just trying to keep up. And despite the fact that Utah as a whole is building more homes per 1,000 residents than any other state in the nation, we do need additional answers to make sure that we're adding more supply, especially with starter homes, so that more people can get into homeownership. And as a whole, the ownership percentage of people in Utah is about 70%. In other words, 70% of the people that live here own their home. And so the trend needs to be that we need to keep building to make sure that we have enough homes for those that are looking to buy. And I don't want to forget to highlight the favorite or the top neighborhoods in Salt Lake City as well. And the most popular neighborhoods include downtown Salt Lake City, Sugar House, the Avenues, Liberty Wells. There are other neighborhoods within the city that are smaller micro neighborhoods like Yellcrest or Federal Heights or Capitol Hill. There are so many different areas within the city, and each offers their own unique flavor and advantages as well as disadvantages. And so if you're looking to make a move to Utah or move within the city or the state, and you're looking for what might be the best option for you, hit me up. And so if you're looking to make the move to Salt Lake City, or if you live in Utah already and you're just looking for a move, I believe that there are 3 tips to make sure that you navigate the process correctly. And number 1 is choosing the right neighborhood. This is crucial. In fact, every time I'm working with anybody, I make sure that they know and we know that we're first trying to find the right neighborhood and the right community. And this definitely comes before we go looking for the right home. We want to pick the neighborhood or the community first, and then we start looking at homes. And number 2, we want to make sure that you can actually integrate into that community. We want to make sure that that community is the best fit for you, and you have the resources that you'll need to make sure that you're plugging into it and creating a new life and creating a new home here in Utah or in Salt Lake City. And number 3 is partnering with the right team of experts. That includes real estate agents or brokers like myself, as well as a team of professionals that can guide you through the process, whether that be in the form of title work or lending or home inspections. All of these things are incredibly useful to make sure that you make this process as smooth as possible. And what I've noticed is most people do the right things, but oftentimes they do them in the wrong order. And one of the first steps is to reach out to us. If you're looking to make the move within the state of Utah, or you're looking to move to Salt Lake City or its surrounding areas, my team and I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. We guide people through this process each and every day, and we feel confident that we can do the same for you. And if this is the type of content that helps you, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button, as it helps me get in front of more people just like you. And this is my main goal, to make sure that I'm serving you and making sure that you know everything you need to know to make that move as smooth as possible. And so reach out to us. You can find our contact information down in the description below, and you can also book a call with me on the link that you'll find on the pinned comment on this and every video. And if you're looking to learn more about life in Utah, check out this playlist next. And until the next video, thanks.